Right, so I've been asked to create a video of this kit that I've just converted. First, let's go to the interface. You're probably not able to see this very well. It's 8920 with a Octopre, Focusrite Octopre connected to that. That was basically for the Alesis kit that I had. It had more than, it had 8 outputs from the Alesis module, and so I went into 8 individual inputs on the 8920 and the Octopre, which allowed me to record audio rather than MIDI. Well, I think that's how it works. I'm no expert. And obviously this is the monitor. Right, now to the kit. It's basically TD27, which, as I've just mentioned, has limited outputs. I will be upgrading this to a V71 eventually, when I've saved some more pennies. And let's move to this first piece first. Over here we've got the Octopad. Now coming out, I'm using 2 outputs, external outputs on the back, to this china, which is an Alesis, which will be replaced, and to this china, which will be Alesis and be replaced. And then the rest of the cymbals are the 14-inch Rolands. Is that a 14-inch, 12-inch? Yes, 14-inch. And then a 12-inch Splash, 20-inch Ride, or 18, or whatever it is, I'm not sure. And I've got another hi-hat there, that's a V, is it a V10 or V12? I think it's V12. And as far as toms go, well, sorry, I'm using the digital hi-hat, the digital snare drum from Roland, from the TD27, and the digital ride from the TD27. I mean, I only bought the TD27 really for these 3 items, as well as the module. So it was cheaper to do that than to buy the whole kit than it was to buy them individual. So that's the way I went with that. So as far as toms, we've got 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, 13-inch floor tom over here, and a 14-inch floor tom. This one's a mounted one. And I do prefer the mounted ones to these ones that stand on legs, because I was going to have 2, the 13 and 12 here, and have a extra snare drum here. But I do like the extra tom, the extra floor tom over here. So basically, and it's a 20-inch bass drum. That's basically it. There's not really a lot to say, apart from I'm trying as much as possible, but the trigger sensitivity dynamics isn't really allowing it at present to use the superior drummer for the main sounds of the kit. I mean, I'll just show you here. So I've only got the 2 inputs, the 3 inputs, the Octopad, which is basically the 2 china cymbals, superior drummer, and then the TD27. Can you see that? Yeah, you should be able to see that. And then obviously the TD27 is the main sound. But like I say, because of the outputs being MIDI, they're too electronic when they get into Cubase. They're too electronic, so I've got to upgrade to the V71 to get the extra outputs, basically, so I can record audio as opposed to MIDI. Let me just put that so I can see it monitoring on the monitor. Makes it easier. So yeah, from here we've got the China, the IATs, the 14-inch, the 12-inch, the 10-inch IATs, the China in the corner over there, and then the 18 or 20-inch, whatever, I think it's 18-inch ride cymbal. And so basically that is the kit. I'm not sure whether you can see it or not, but I've just started organising the cables a bit better. I've still got some work to do on them. They're coming through this kind of a strap thing, if don't forget what they're called. It's a cable tidy thing, you just wrap them all in there. And I was going to give them plenty of length and that so I could attach them to various stand parts and things, but I chose against that because, like I say, when I get the V71, things will probably change quite a bit. And I don't use them very often, but I've got the Yamaha HS8 that is for monitors. They sound really good actually when they pump the kit through those. That's without the bass drum that goes with the HS8s. And that's basically it. I've got the monitor there for when I start practicing. I mean, I've actually made a big balls up, to be honest. As far as my playing goes, I mean, the kit is a lot better. This is a lot better kit than the Alesis kit that I had, but I'd got the Alesis kit where I got as much out of it as I could get, so it sounded pretty good. And so I started practicing, but then I'd been practicing for a couple of months, and then I went this way, which means I've got to focus more on getting this kit sound right as opposed to practicing. I mean, I just don't have time to do both because I've got something else cooking in the background, which basically takes all my time. And that's about it. Nothing more to tell. I've got a double bass drum pedal. I mean, I did get a bass drum pedal with the 3000, DW 3000 bass drum pedal with the TD27, but I don't use that, and I don't use the TD27 toms. Although I have been thinking about getting some octabands. I might sell the TD27 pads to put towards the octabands, because there's no way I'm going to be using the TD27 toms. Obviously here you can see space for another cymbal over here and another cymbal over here. I did order two 16-inch, was it a 16 and 18 or two 16-inch crashers? It might have been another 14-inch for over here and then an 18-inch for over here, but they got lost in the post, so I didn't really. So I haven't seen them. They've refunded me, etc. So that's about it. It's quite quiet in here. I mean, I've got the cheap padding on the walls, and this is a 12 by 12 garden shed. It's the only way I could have it, because I've got houses to that side of me and houses to this side of me, and so I built the shed in between so that I wasn't hindering either that one or this one, neighbours. So it was to bring the noise away from both the houses. Plus, I mean, if you imagine, we've got one house here, one house over here, and I'm in the middle. I'm attached to this house, so it's a semi-detached, and then there's a big garden space here. So I've put the shed over here, away from that and that, if that made any sense whatsoever. Well, yeah, so that's what I did. And obviously I put soundproofing in the shed as well. But it gets quite well. I've been in here about half an hour and it's really warm. I haven't got any cooling fans or anything like that in here, but I will. In fact, there's no ventilation whatsoever once I close the door. But to be honest with you, it's winter time now, and I hardly really ever come in here because it's coming out of the house into the cold into here. And but I mean, I will have to change that because I will have to practice, get some practicing done. But at present, I'm just finishing something else off. Something to do with the drum coach brand thing. More on that later. And obviously, I've got the snare drum here from the kit, from the Yamaha kit. It's all got, everything's got the Jobeky heads and Jobeky easy fit triggers, and this is no different. But I had this set up to the side, and I couldn't get a decent sound of it because I have to come out of the octapad into here, and the octapad is just, well, I haven't played about with it too much, but off the top of my head, as far as plug and play is it does nothing of a decent quality to use. But having said that, I mean, I do need it really quiet because I'm playing sounds from the Super Airy drummer, as I said. And well, that's about it. So until next time, I'll catch you later.